Welcome to episode 71, Phil Knight and Nike, 10 Lessons. This is an outline of episode 71. Lesson number 1, insane customers. Not only customers who would die for Nike shoes, but customers who would kill for Nike shoes. Wow, that is insane.
But along with the style and popularity of the Air Jordans came an industry-high price tag of more than $100 a pair. In the late 1980s, there were muggings, even murders over the shoes.
Lesson number 2, insane profit. For example, $150 for a pair of Nike signature shoes in 1980s. I'm talking about insane profit, not reasonable profit.
It seems like you almost bristle at the suggestion that you're a businessman.
No, not at all. I'm proud of that. We do business the way we do business.
Lesson number 3, the best celebrity, like Michael Jordan.
Did to the game of basketball. That has continually transcended over time.
It's no wonder that Nike named a building after Jordan. In 2007, the Jordan brand, now a separate Nike subsidiary, grossed about $800 million. Just $100 million less than the entire company was pulling in when they signed him 23 years earlier. No one knows just how much Jordan did for Nike better than Nike founder Phil Knight, who talked to us in his trademark sunglasses.
So what did Jordan mean? Jordan was huge and still is. He became ultimately probably the greatest basketball player of all time, and set the tone for what became not just a great endorsement, but has now become a brand.
Michael Jordan's last game was in 2003, and yet Jordan brand sales keep growing.
Brand Jordan today sells about twice as much product around the world as when he was playing.
Lesson number 4, business is war. Adidas, founded in 1924, is almost 50 years older than Nike. In the beginning, Nike relied on guerrilla marketing.
That those competitors will fight back hard, have a plan to beat them, and to start winning their market share. Being a former athlete himself, Knight loved competition and relished the chance to compete in the business world. Knight treats business as war and has instilled within his company a healthy dislike of its competitors. Always trying to one-up his competition, when Reebok went to the expense of sponsoring the entire Atlanta Olympic Games, Nike sponsored just the top athletes, but gained much more valuable coverage than Reebok.
Lesson number 5, life is hard. Don't go alone. Get all the help you can.
I have in my travels occasionally met promising young people who insist they are not going to ask for help along the way. They want to figure it out themselves. Mine was the opposite approach. It is hard enough out there. Get all the help you can. Getting help really is just a part of a lifelong search for wisdom.
Throughout his career, Phil Knight has taken inspiration from the East. As his competitors and senior managers have fallen away, the lonely victor of the sporting brand battle has been Phil Knight himself.
Lesson number 6, start part-time, start multitasking. He worked 4 years at Price Waterhouse, saving his money and putting every penny back into his company. He said he was multitasking, but in reality, he was working 2 jobs. He quit Price Waterhouse after sales at Nike exceeded millions of dollars.
By 1972, we got to $2 million in sales with a 3% net profit, but it hadn't been easy. After all, $500 a piece doesn't provide much equity, even for $2 million. I had tossed in most of my Price Waterhouse checks for 4 years, but I was spending 4 days a week at the bank trying to convince them to give us a little more credit. By now, I've quit Price Waterhouse and I'm going full-time.
Lesson number 7, learn fast, learn along the way. Phil Knight described himself as shy, insecure, and unsuccessful in the beginning. Today, Phil Knight is famous for salesmanship. Yet, in his first sales job, selling encyclopedia in Hawaii, he did not sell a single encyclopedia.
But I must confess, when I said I sold encyclopedias door-to-door in Honolulu, it was a little imprecise. I called on houses door-to-door, trying to sell encyclopedias. I never actually closed a sale.
Lesson number 8, cost matters. He chose Japan because he thought Japanese cheaper labor costs would give him an advantage over Adidas and Puma. He was right.
Then all the best shoes were being made in Germany, and it made no sense that you would make shoes, Adidas and Puma. Make no sense that they'd be made in Germany. So I wrote the paper about they should make them in Japan, and the idea built and built and built, and it became a crazy idea to everybody but me and my college professor.
Lesson number 9, innovate, innovate, innovate. When he first started to import Tiger shoes from Japan, there were only 3 models of running shoes. Now he has over 13,000 Nike products.
13,000 products.
It's 91 through 96 on this side and 97 to present on the left. The running section ends with a very rare book called Irreverence Justified. The last 50 pages of that book are blank, so I left the bottom shelf of running blank. Come with me into basketball. Let's start over here. To my right, the 70s, represented by Bruins and Blazers, and to my left, a tribute to the Air Force One, a shoe that came out in 1982, so that pays homage to the 80s. The row to my left over here that we're going to walk through in a second has more signature basketball shoes, foam posits, all sorts of really cool Nikes, Hirachis, Hyperdunks, Solo Flight, Flight 89s, 360s, Zoom Flight 96s. Pippen has shoes in here, LeBron, Kobe, Penny, whole bunch of different players. Crazy, right?
Lesson number 10, the only time you must not fail is the last time you try.
That moment over 6 decades before, when Frank Schellenberger, beloved professor of entrepreneurship, said the words that meant so much to me, the words that became the mantra for his class, the words that said, the only time you must not fail is the last time you try.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your comments and questions below. Wishing everyone plenty of running, peace, and prosperity.